Hello and welcome. My name's Super Saiyan and welcome to your Saturday weekly pre-order video. We'll start off with Forge World. Up for yesterday there was the Legio Custodes Aquilian Terminators with Infernus Fire Pikes. You can get them as a squad with the Adrathic Destructors as well for £98. But as you can see, you don't save any money by doing so. I'm wondering whether next weekend on the Friday you'll get the Orion dropship, or maybe it'll be a different release and then the Orion the week after. But at least you know that it's going to be £275 when it drops, but it's going to be really interesting to find out the rules because they're not available anywhere at the moment. So yeah, these are great looking models. I've got an unboxing and review of them. I got mine about a month ago at the Forge World open day. I'll put a link in the description for the unboxing and the review, so check that out. So that's all that there is on Forge World for pre-order for next weekend. And then Games Workshop, they are finally put Typhus right here. We'll have a look at the pre-orders in a moment. They've also got the Terminators. I think they're quite reasonably priced. The one thing I mentioned about the 3 Death Shroud sort of bodyguard for Mortarion is, yes, there's only 3, but they are quite large models, so that's probably the reason why they were quite expensive. So if we click on new and exclusive just there, click on pre-orders and we'll view all. You haven't got that many things coming out. They've created this sort of box set with Typhus and the Terminators and some Potswalkers, but no foul Blightspawn. They've also got this Warhammer Age of Sigmar Firestorm. Looks like a card game. We'll have a look at the Deathguard releases separately in a moment. But also for Age of Sigmar, you've got Warriors of the Great Cities, Anvil Guard, £100, Tempest's Eye, and Hammer Hall. And then from last week, I think Signs of Mars and Scythes of Nurgle, they were up last week. But also this week you've got the Blightlord Terminators just here, and you've got Typhus himself. So let's start off with Typhus. So £25, what do you guys think of that? I mean, he is sort of a named character. So we hop on over to Forge World and you can see Calas Typhon. £35, so he is what, £10 more, but you get this massive base. He's in resin. He's got this cataphracti Terminator armor. He's got a little horn going on there, and he's got this lovely looking scythe. Really dynamic. Really, I want to say sort of grimdark, but I think that grimdark. Oh, I think it depends on the paint scheme, I really do. But just to highlight the fact that he's £10 more over at Forge World. And then if you look at him at Games Workshop, I'm not a huge fan of the pose at all. I would have rather him hold his scythe with his left hand and maybe have a fist or a gun or something on the right hand, or even a mirror image of sort of that pose, but with his arm outstretched maybe. But there you go, that's just a sort of food for thought. Yeah, like I say, I'm not a huge fan of the paint scheme. I do like the flies and sort of this chimney stack thing with lots of these little flies coming out. His side does look different compared to his one there. I mean, that one looks quite straight with a nice blade on it, and then if you look at that one, I don't know, the blade just looks a bit shorter and the wood looks more curved. Yeah, I mean, it might just be worth just you know, doing a comparison between those two, really. Okay, so yeah, he's going to be he's £25 and he's 2 sprues. He'll be a monopose miniature, so there you go. And then we'll go over to the other big release, which is the Blightlord Terminators. I thought these were reasonably priced at £35. I do like the fact that this guy's got this kind of sort of flail type weapon. There's this chain axe kind of thing that's like a flamer, blight launcher, like some kind of sword. I mean, these guys do look yeah, yeah, look at that. I mean, probably best if I sort of zoom in now and again. So yeah, I do like these models. All these spikes protruding, and then it's sort of, it looks almost like Genestealer kind of arms around him. I think we've got a 360 degree version. Yeah, it's odd. I mean, there's claws coming out. Yeah, almost like a Genestealer is hugging him, maybe. And then this guy. And this guy with this sort of plague sword and some skulls on the back. Yeah. And then this with this sort of frag launcher kind of weapon. I do like that grin on that one, and look at all this sort of flesh and pus and stuff coming out the back of him. I do like the horns, and the bone protruding. And that's sort of like a chain axe with some spikes. And there's just 3 of them there, but yeah, you do get 5, and it looks like it's going to be, I really want to say 2 sprues just based on this. To me that just looks like it's 3 or 4 pairs of legs, so it may well be 3 sprues if not 4, because the Intercessors are 4 sprues and so are the Reavers, and they're all £35, so it could be 3 or 4 sprues there. So not too shabby, that one. So there are a couple of the Deathguard releases. We've also got this chap here, this Foul Blightspawn. So he's £15. Again, I don't think that's too bad. I think if he was 20 or 25, I think that would be quite terrible. Considering he's on like a 40mm base, I think it looks like a 40mm base. It doesn't actually. Yeah, it says 40mm base. There you go. So monopose. Single sprue, but £15. This is the price, guys. This is what all the Intercessor captains and apothecaries, this is what they should be. £15. I would gladly pay £15 for these plastic monopose miniatures. I think £22.50 is I know it's only £7.50 more, but you know, you multiply that up a few times, and yeah, you know, you can just buy more models for that. But yeah, I'd happily pay sort of £15 for the Primaris Apothecary and other models. Yeah, I like that model. I think they've done an absolutely stunning paint job there. And overall, I think the paint job is nicer than Typhus. I think Typhus is a bit too bright, whereas this guy, I love this sort of slime coming out. It's just the way they've done the sort of zoom in again. The way that they've done the sort of white specks and the highlighting. It really does actually look like it's full of sort of slime and stuff in there. I love this little Nurglin, sort of like a Monsters Inc. Mike Wachowski sort of little Nurglin with a potato masher there. Really great. So yeah, so he's out as well. So that's the 40k sort of pre-orders, and then you've got Warhammer Age of Sigmar. So this Anvil Guard, it looks like you've got. So you've got Order Draconis, and then the Forces of Order. So Draconis army there, and what's it called? War Hydra. Yeah, that's quite a nice looking model. Then you've got Tempest Eye. Looks like it's Iron Drakes and Prosecutors, and basically just Dwarfs and Force of Order, isn't it? And then finally you've got Hammerhall again, Sigmarites, and looks like Empire. Is that what they're called? I'm not well tuned into sort of Age of Sigmar, but there you go. You got those 3 box sets. I'm assuming that saves you a bit of money in those sets. Don't know if you get anything else with them, like rules, or maybe it's just a selection of those models in the box. And that is it. So far on the releases for Deathguard, my Deathguard release watch is we've got Typhus, we've got the Terminators, we've got the Death Shroud Bodyguard, we've got the Foul Blightspawn, and we've got Mortarion and the Codex so far. So that's a good solid release so far. We've still got your standard Plague Marines, you've still got the Poxwalkers, you've got the little tank, you've got the big artillery type tank, you've also got the bloat drones and a few other things. I think we also saw a picture of the little guy with the checklist and the scroll. We saw him as well. So yeah, still quite a few things to be released. So as always, please do put in the comments below which has been your favourite release so far, which ones are you planning to get, and which models are you most looking forward to. As always, thank you ever so much for joining me today. Thank you for watching. The Emperor protects.